when you wake your child up the day after his 14th birthday and tell him he has thyroid cancer, it's about as horrible a thing as you could ever experience.
March 21st, 2014, found out that I had cancer. I broke down in tears right away. I was a young kid. I didn't really know what was what.
We were at practice, and Margaret came to practice, and she said, I think you got to tell the team. I said, can you do it? I essentially couldn't do it. And as she was telling the team, I burst into tears, and I was standing right next to Devin Marble, one of my favorite players I ever coached. And he just wrapped me up. Said, Coach, we got you. And I'll never forget that.
Austin Schroeder, nicknamed Flash. He was a grade older than me. We went to the same school. We shared the same number in all sports. He wore 22 for everything. I wore the number 22 for everything.
Austin, he was going to be that first athlete of ours. I was excited to be able to coach him in everything. What are the two things that we can control? And the answer is attitude and effort. I had a whiteboard that I coached with, and on it, I had win the day at the top, and then I had attitude and effort.
Austin, he was diagnosed in April of 2014. It was called a T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma. Patrick and Austin, they are truly right about a month apart of finding out that they have cancer.
All of a sudden, these two boys, one is in 7th grade, one is in 8th grade, they're at the same school. So it was really from then on that they spent more time together.
That's when our bond became incredibly tight and almost inseparable at that point, because not a lot of other kids are able to, comprehend or grasp, what you're going through in that moment.
The treatment for thyroid cancer is radioactive iodine. Essentially, Patrick was going to be radioactive, and we weren't going to be allowed to be within 6 feet of him for about 10 days. And Patrick was with us while we were meeting with this nuclear medicine team, and they were explaining that. And Austin had started his treatment, and at the end of our conversation with the team, Patrick kind of looked at me but was directing his question at the team, and he said, so if I'm radioactive and Austin needs radiation to shrink the nodes in his body, can he come by me and be near me? And will my radioactive body help shrink his nodes? It was determined that it would be okay, in fact, for Austin to come and be closer to Patrick. And at that time in our guest room, we had 2 queen beds. So we had Patrick in his bed, and then Austin came and kind of laid in the other bed, and they would play Call of Duty and giggle because they would crash cars and just, do silly things that 14-year-old boys do.
We loved that they got together. It made him happy. It's forgetting about cancer, even just for a moment or two. It's just a gift. They had hope with each other. We wanted to make sure that we found reasons to laugh and to have fun every single day. When the day is the simplest concept, just find the positive. Just one and just focus on that. You didn't throw up. We were able to leave the room. We were able to leave the wing, go on a walk together. We're able to tell each other that we love each other and hug each other today. That's the reminder for all of us, no matter what situation we're going in, because life has adversity. We just have to find one positive and focus on it. That's it. I remember telling Austin that you get to decide what a win is each day. Cancer doesn't. When
Austin was in the last few days of his life, We went back down to the hospital, and Craig and Stacy looked at Patrick and they said, "Patrick, would you like to have some time with Austin by yourself?" And I just, we'll never know probably what Patrick said to him during that time. That's for Patrick and Austin. But I just thought, what grace and generosity from Craig and Stacy to think of that in that moment and give those boys that time together before it was over. And he died the next morning.
April 28th of 2015 was the day that Austin passed. And if you add up the dates, 04282015, it equals 22.
I have a tattoo on my chest, Flash. It's a lightning bolt with his signature in the middle.
Flash was Austin's nickname. And when the Children's Hospital was being finished, the patients in the hospital could write things on the beams. The tattoo that Patrick has on his chest is what Austin put on the beam in the hospital.
Austin, we went through a lot together. We both had cancer at the same time. We both wore the number 22. I really wanted to wear 22. It was incredibly important to me just because of that bond with Austin.
Of course, that number was retired by one of our all-time greats, Bill Seberg.
He was on the 1955-56 Final Four team, the first Final Four team at the University of Iowa. So all 5 starters got their jerseys retired. I wrote Mr. Seberg a letter. I told him, kind of the situation about Austin. Once I explained to him, he was very gracious and allowed me to wear it, which I'm grateful for. The number 22, it's a constant reminder of what I went through to get here and to play basketball in the Big Ten.
He's definitely been motivated by both of their experiences, and he feels a sense of responsibility to compete, thrive, and to try to excel for his friend.
I think that he probably deals with survivor's guilt, and I think that that's been a part of some of maybe his anxiety and struggle, the feeling like I have to be great, I have to be perfect because Austin's not here, he can't do that, and so I'm gonna do it for both of us.
Patrick's a survivor, playing for Austin and wearing 22 and keeping Austin's spirit and legacy alive. Every time he steps out on that court, he is a symbol to so many other young kids out there. I am not going to continue to let cancer define who I am, and I'm going to show up and show people that I can still continue on, and I continue on for myself and continue on for my buddy Flash.
There's going to be a lot of tough times, but you need to just keep pushing through and try to win every single day.
Every day that he shows up at practice and I get to see him and I get to work with him, it just resonates in a much different way. Whether we win or he plays well or not, we're just incredibly thankful for the opportunity.